Hello everybody, I'm going to do kind of a review on these products here. Some of them I've already used and I'll go ahead and cover those, but there are plenty of videos out there, on how to maintain and detail and polish and wax and buff your car out. But most of the ones I've seen, there were a couple of ones, they're done on cars that are already in pretty good shape. So I'm going to show some of these products on my truck, which I've just neglected on keeping the finish nice on it. But let me run through these real quick. I've not used the gold class Meguiar's car wash yet. This was about 10 bucks, and it seems like that's expensive, but you only use 4 capfuls of this to a gallon of water. I've got some really good review reading on this. I'm going to try that out. The next one I've got is Groit's paint cleaning clay. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's not Groit's. It's like Groit or something like that. But this was kind of expensive. This was $20 for this little jar, and you get a brick of this clay in it, and you use about a quarter of this bar to make your patty and start working all the contaminants off of the finish with it. You're supposed to use something called speed shine, to lube the paint, lube the surface while you basically sand with this. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use some soapy water. But you just keep folding it back over itself, and it's supposed to last a long time. You might be able to do 3 or 4 cars if they're not too bad with 1/4 of this bar. So that's good to clean and prep the surface, from what I gather. I've not used this stuff yet, but like I said, it was a little expensive. If you've got, and it will remove some oxidation here as well, I believe, but this is the 3M advanced rubbing compound that I used on that trailer. Now this is not a polishing compound. This is just a rubbing compound, so there's no polishing in this, so it will straight up dull your paint. Then you'll have to follow it up with a polish. My trailer was so far gone and oxidized. I tried a little bit of a polishing compound. It wasn't quite aggressive enough, so the steps I used on the trailer that you saw in the other video was the compound, and then bringing the finish back up with a polish, and then applying a wax. This stuff worked great. I did about 322 square feet with it. I'm probably about right here in the bottle. I think this was about $13 or $14. And then I used this Meguiar's Ultimate Polish. It worked really good. I have no complaints with it whatsoever. And same amount of square footage. It's probably about half full on this. And then I also used this Meguiar's Gold Class Carnauba wax to finish up on top of the polish, and it is still about half full as well, again for the same surface area. So if you're just doing typical smaller cars or something like that, this stuff would probably go a really long way. I have no complaints about any of these 3 products right here. You just have to spend your time with them and use them. I used them on that polisher. I guess you can do things by hand, but like I said, I didn't like that. I'm going to use the clay and this gold class wash, and kind of show you what I think about that. So let me show you what I'm working with. And okay, here's a quick shot of the hood on my truck. This is one of the worst surfaces because it's horizontal, but hopefully all this nasty black picks up here. Car coming by. So I'm going to do a section, maybe this whole section of the hood here, stopping at this line. I'm going to wash it with that car wash and then let it dry, and then come back with that clay bar, see what it does. And I'll show the steps along the way, and we're going to see what we can get this to. Alright, well here's a quick shot of that car wash. I put 4 capfuls in this bucket here. It suds up really nice. So that should help, lift off and carry away any of the dirt and whatnot off of the finish. I don't have a very good sense of smell. I've got real bad sinus issues. Sometimes I can't smell anything. I can't smell subtle things like flowers and stuff like that, but I can smell this, and if you ask me, it smells like if any of you guys are old enough to actually have gone to or go to real barber shops. That's what it smells like to me. It smells like the barber shop. Club Man aftershave and hair tonics and stuff like that, which I have, you know, some of those. I think they smell good, probably especially because I can smell it. But all in all, I'm going to do a shot of this and see what we get. Okay, here's a quick shot after just hand washing this one panel right here, and a lot of that black stuff, whatever it was, it just literally just fell off. But you know, you can use like a plastic baggie over your hand and feel, you know, the surface of the paint to see if there's any contaminants on it. But my fingers are pretty sensitive, and I mean to tell you, you're just gonna have to trust me. This feels like sandpaper, literally. I mean, it's just all over it. So it's not quite dry yet here. It's a really overcast day. It's only like 59 degrees. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that clay bar, and then I'll see if I can feel or see any difference. All right, well, I've cut off about 1/4 of this bar and worked it out into a patty. This is what I'm going to be using. You know, this is called a clay, but it's really not a clay. It's some type of an elastic polymer or something like that. I don't know too much about this, but this is what I'm going to be working with. So now I'm going to go out there and do a shot. You know, I'll try to shoot, you know, actually using it. But I'm going to go ahead and describe, you know, what I'm going to do. You know, you don't bear down on this at all. You just kind of lay it on the surface and do a light massaging like that. And you know, you don't do circles. You just always go in one direction. Go in the direction, if you can, like how the car would have actually been painted. You know, long longitudinal surfaces go this way. You know, if you're rolling around down the back of the car, you know, you might curve around like this, like it would be shot, to kind of keep everything going in the proper direction. So you can see it's really tacky. It's sticky. I just had it sitting here laying on my hand after I picked it up, and it is stuck to my fingers. So that's what I know. Okay, well, I shot this surface down with my soapy solution. I just used some of the car wash stuff in a spray bottle. I've only got one hand, so I went ahead and shot it on here. So just gonna go around, like I said, I'm not really pressing down. I'm just going across the surface. I can feel it grabbing, and then it gets smooth as glass. So I'm just gonna slow down a bit and see if I feel anything. And I gather you're supposed to kind of move a little briskly, but wow, I mean to tell you. I'm going to shoot this, sorry about the camera there, I'm going to shoot this in real time right here because I wanted you to see how long it actually takes. Oh wow. And I'm not feeling right now any dragging on that whole surface. So let me turn it over and see what we got. Oh wow. I'm gonna have to take this back to the bench so you can definitely see how dirty it is, but unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm gonna hose this off real quick. Alright, well, I apologize. I'm gonna have to insert a clip here after the fact. I evidently did not turn my camera off, and when I went to shoot another clip, I actually wasn't recording the whole time. So anyway, what I found was some blue overspray on my truck, and this stuff is supposed to take it off as well. So in those areas where I had the overspray, I just bared down a little bit more with my fingers, and 5 or 6 stripes across it, that blue overspray was gone. So this stuff does actually lift overspray off or take it off as well. So sorry about the problem here. I didn't get a shot of that, but it worked just like I said. Okay, well, I worked, you know, all that overspray off I found on here. Came off really easy. I'm not sure if you can pick up, there's a large oak tree right here that I can see. The truck is beginning to become reflective already just after doing that. And let me tell you, it feels smooth as glass right now. I am really impressed with this. Okay, here's a shot of the clay bar patty. You can tell I've kind of distorted it because I was working on that overspray, so I got it kind of oblong, but hopefully you can see all the garbage in here, this black mess everywhere. That is contaminants that it actually lifted up and removed off the surface. And you saw how easy that was in real time. to use this, and it does work. I am impressed with this by all stretch. You know, so if you think I paid $20 for this and I used a quarter of the pad, so let's just call that $5. And if I can do the entire vehicle without totally losing this, there's $5. Or if I can do it twice, cut it in half, $2.50. You know, so when you break it down into that type of a position, it seems to be quite cost effective and affordable for the results you get. And as it gets contaminated like this, you would simply just fold it into itself and rework a new piece and just continue folding it into itself. And eventually, I guess, you know, your contaminants will start coming out the other side. Then you'll know that you've spent this entire piece of clay. So, you know, you don't want to drop it, of course, you know, and get it all contaminated with dirt or whatever. So take care of it, you know, make sure it doesn't fall and hit the ground, or you'll have to use a new piece if you can't get it cleaned up. So that's kind of going to be the finalization of this part of the review on this Groit's paint cleaning clay. You know, they sell other brands, Meguiar's kits, Mother's kits. You know, you can buy just regular clay bars online of different grits, you know, or heavy, medium, light, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really say what this one is, but this was supposed to be really, really gentle on the paint, and so far I believe it is. So I wouldn't hesitate to go this route if you guys were interested in something like that. All right, well, I'm gonna go out there now on the hood of that truck, and I'm gonna use a blue polishing pad, foam pad, on my DA polisher. I'm gonna be using the Meguiar's Ultimate Polish, and then I'll wipe it with a microfiber cloth, and I'll show a quick clip of that. Then I'm going to follow it up with a black finishing pad with the Meguiar's Gold Class Carnauba Plus Premium Liquid Wax, and I'll show a clip after that. I'm not going to show the, you know, actual using of this. You can look online for that stuff, and I'm not going to bother taking a tripod out there because I need two hands. So let me get set up and do this, and I'll show the finished results. Alright, well, I just applied the polish to this section of the hood. Like I said, it's a really overcast day, so I'm just going to try to get down. You can see now that oak tree is really showing in here, and I've set a bottle up there to where you can see the reflection. So all in all, this is looking great. I am going to put the wax on, and then I'll show the finish. Okay, well, I just applied the wax to this, and like I said, it's overcast, but I'm going to try to get down here where you can see how reflective it actually is. You can really see that tree now in the hood. And yeah, I don't know if it picks up on camera, but I can actually read the bottles through this paint. That's about as close as I can get. So that is it. I think what I might do, you know, this is a 1998 GMC 4x4, you know, so you can kind of get an idea and gauge how old it is. This is actually a 99 Infiniti Q45. It's black, so I'm going to do it as well. And again, you know, I just neglected it over the years, so it's in bad shape. And I don't know, my wife's Lexus it's horrible too, you know. So like I said, I'm not really into detailing, but now since I have, you know, an easy process here using that DA polisher and these products, I might become that guy. You know, when I first buy trucks, you know, cars or whatever, you know, they're brand new and you really take care of them, and then after a while the new wears off and they just kind of go downhill. But I mean to tell you, this thing, it feels like a showroom car finish. I am just beside myself how easy this is to do with the proper tools, and it shouldn't take all that much time, but that clay bar is just awesome. So let me get back to my desk here and I'll wrap up my thoughts. Alright, well, my final thoughts on each and every one of these products are, they are great. They worked easy. They came off easy. You know, I didn't have any issues whatsoever. Nice foam studs on this one, you know, seemed to work great, lift out the dirt. It wasn't a warm day, so I don't know, how much is going to sheet off or whatnot, but, it worked. This thing is awesome. This clay bar, or these clay type products, absolutely recommend doing that. You'll be really surprised, and it makes the rest of it easier to deal with, and the finish, as you see, turned out great. Rubbing compound, great. If you have a light oxidation, this might even take it off, but you might try a polishing compound first, and if it's not cutting it, then move down backwards to something more aggressive. Anytime you're doing any types of sanding on, wood or, metal or whatever, if you have a surface imperfection, you always want to try to find and use the finest grit possible. So if you can get away with a 2000 grit sandpaper, don't use a 1500, use a 2000. It'll be easier on you. But if the 2000 is not cutting it, drop down to 15. If that's not working, maybe drop down to 1000 and then work your way back up through the grits. Doing auto body finishes, it's pretty much the same principle in my opinion. So the polish worked great, brings out a nice shine. The wax went on easy, came out easy, got a little bit more luster out of it using the wax. This is by all means not the only line of products you can use. This is just what I used. Professional detailers might use something else, but for the average Joe who just wants to bring their cars back up or work on them, I think these products are really good in my opinion, so I wouldn't hesitate to use them. You might do some looking around online for, there's a lot of channels out there that are more geared, that are pro people that do detailing and whatnot. Probably pick up some quick tips and pointers from there. I watched a few of them and gained some information, but all in all, this is my opinion, and it's certainly going to bring my vehicles back up to a presentable manner. Thanks for watching, and good luck.